When you think about playing Tekken, a Gamecube controller is almost certainly not what comes to mind. It's probably a PlayStation 4 controller, a PlayStation 5 controller, maybe one of those arcade gamepad things. What's up guys, my name is Laserfight and today I'm going to show you exactly what it would be like to play Tekken on a Gamecube controller. I decided to utilize Tekken Tag Tournament 2 on the Wii U emulator Cemu for demonstration. In doing so, I was able to get the emulator to believe my Gamecube controller was a Pro controller. Unfortunately, my custom controller has a bit of a screwy D-pad, so I'll be using Old Reliable. First, I'd like to go over the button layout, movement, and then some basic combos. Thankfully, the game had the buttons mapped out somewhere to give you a general idea to begin with, but I'll leave it on screen. The D-pad is significantly smaller, but it didn't cause much discomfort or many misinputs, with the exception of a couple times where I had a fat thumb moment, which was honestly surprising because I expected it to be much worse than it was. The stick, however, was another story altogether. I couldn't find a place to enable stick to begin with. In the emulator, I had to map the stick inputs to the D-pad. I tried over and over again to simply get an electric windhook fist out of Jin, and it just did not happen. As any normal Smash player would, I blamed something other than myself and switched the CPU off of Kazuya. And I still couldn't get it! Who would have thought? I even adjusted the dead zones and everything, but nothing seemed to help. When switching to Tekken 7 for comparison, I ended up realizing that the stick issue I was having really just amounts to a skill issue on my part. In my last video, I mentioned if Tekken 8 were to ever come to Switch, it might appeal to some new players that came from Smash Bros. A little bit more if they had the option to use their very own Gamecube controller. What they will quickly find out is that whiffing an electric in Tekken is not going to be nearly as forgiving as it would be in Smash Ultimate. Yeah, for the rest of this video, I switched back to D-pad. Now that we've got movement out of the way, we can get to some basic inputs and combos. Some regular 3-button bread and butter combos are relatively easy to pull off despite the layout differences. Even some combos with more inputs to them weren't too bad, it just take a lot of getting used to. Grabs, however, were interesting. A and X or right kick and right punch was fine because those buttons were right next to each other, but the B and Y, left kick and left punch grab was awkward due to having to transition to claw. But if you like claw as is, that's an entirely different story. Keep in mind though, Tekken does allow for customization of controls, so you might be able to fix this. Regardless, you might get some odd placements anyways. Using this for Tekken 7 or Tekken 8 for that matter may not be very optimal when going for the more complex combos. Honestly, I was trying to rewire my brain to hit any combo at all with the Gamecube controller for like a good hour in Tekken Tag 2, and I know that works differently than Tekken 7, but I just couldn't pull anything off. If you as a viewer could do me a solid and give me the timestamp that we're currently at in the video right now and type skill issue along with it, I would greatly appreciate it. Thank you all so much for taking the time to watch this video. If you enjoyed, leave a like and hit the subscribe button if you're new. There's plenty more fighting game content on the way, including Street Fighter 6 related stuff later on, so stay tuned.